Hello everyone, welcome to another process video. Still working on 6x8 pocket pages, photos from New York. And in my last video, I started with my photos from the New Gallery. So that's what's on the other side here. And now I'm continuing on with that. I don't have many photos from inside because they only allow photos on the bottom floor. Once you go on to the upper floors, no photography. So case in point, I had to use a postcard that I bought in the gift shop and cut it down to fit a pocket because I was not able to get a real photo of this painting, sadly. Sorry. If you can hear that, that's one of my cats wanting my attention. She's going to have to wait. So here's what I have to work with. I already know definitely that I want to use this card. I love that it says plot twist, because my plan is to write a little bit about the history of this painting, the fact that it was stolen by the Nazis and then ended up in the Belvedere in Vienna, and then just like in the movie Woman in Gold, that actually happened. Most of that is accurate. It ended up coming back to its original owner in the family and landed in the United States, in New York. So I want to put something about that in here. And then when you pay your fee to get into the gallery, they give you this little pin to wear on your shirt to show that you paid. And I want to put it on this card along with something else. I'm not sure what exactly, but I'm a little concerned because if you can see here, it has a little bit of a depression in there. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to adhere that. Up here, I could use a glue dot or red line tape, but here I'm not sure because it's not going to sit flush with the page unless I, like really push on it. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to figure out something for that. And then I just have really this one other photo of walking out of the main lobby into the gift shop. So that's kind of all I have for photos. But then I have this super cool bag. So if you buy anything there, which of course I did, you get this bag, and it just so happens that it perfectly fits in the 6x8 page protector. Now, here's the other problem I have with this. These two face each other, obviously. When you flip over, you'll either see the back of the bag or you'll see some of these items that I have. So these are the brochures. This little thing that you get when you buy something, you can go on Instagram and tag them, but I like that it has the gallery name. And then my receipts from my admission and what I bought. Oh wait, that's not supposed to be in there. That's for my dinner that I had later that night. Good thing I noticed that. That goes somewhere else. But these are for my entrance and then what I bought. So I'm not sure if I want to just drop them in the bag and do something else on the back here, or somehow maybe make a page out of, this stuff. God, my cat's being annoying. Stop. Somehow make a page out of this. I'm just not sure. So I'm going to have to really play around with the bag and then the opposite side here to figure out what I want to do. For this card, I think I am going to start with this one. Again, have to figure out how to adhere this. But I'm also going to stamp on here. And I think I'm going to use this set. This is from Studio Calico, I believe. It doesn't say on there, but I'm pretty sure it is. I want this one that says Art Gallery. So I'm going to stamp that on there. And I think I'm also going to do some gold Heidi Shine because, look, this is in gold. I'm sure that's in reference to this, having formerly been titled The Woman in Gold. The real title is Adele Bloch-Bauer 1. Look at all the gold in there. Klimt, that was his gold face. So I think I'm going to do some Heidi Shine, get that dried, and then I'll move on to adhering this and stamping this. While I'm waiting for the Heidi Shine to dry, I was looking back at this and I realized I cut this apart. I thought I still had the whole bag, but I didn't. In my infinite wisdom, before I started the album, I must have thought that I was going to do something on the other page, so I only have the front. So that certainly limits, what I can do. So I think, wait, before I put this back, wait a minute. Since this is going to show through, maybe I'll do a little Heidi Shine on the back here And then I can just drop in these items. They'll still be able to be, whoops, taken out if anybody wants to see them, but it'll look pretty. Now, I have to say, I've never used Heidi Shine on material like this. It's very thin. It's like a craft paper almost, but super thin. I don't know what that is going to do to it, so I may just try like a tiny little bit down here so that if it wrecks it or doesn't look good or something, I can stop and not have damaged it too much. So I'm going to try that, and then maybe they'll both be drying at the same time, and we'll just see how it looks. This card is not completely dry yet, but you can see that the gold Heidi Shine did come out nicely, I think. And then I did stamp that phrase Art Gallery right at the top. So as soon as all of this has dried, then I can figure out how to adhere the little pin. But for now, I'm going to set those aside. And that means I have to go to work on some of the other stuff. So it looks like the paper bag is dry. So I'm going to grab that and then figure out, am I going to adhere any of this or just drop it in the page protector? Here's what the back of this looks like with the Heidi Shine on there. I really like it. When I first put it on there, it didn't show up very well. So I was concerned that I had kind of wasted it, that it wasn't really going to do anything. But as it's dried, you can see it more. So I think it'll be nice. Once it's in the page protector and people are flipping through the album, you will be able to see some of this. Now, obviously, some of it's going to be covered up because of these items, but I think enough will show that it'll add just, you know, a nice little amount of bling. And I do think I'm just going to drop these in and kind of let them have movement inside the page protector, because there's no real way to glue one of these in and then I'd still have the others floating around. So that doesn't really help me. The only thing I'm thinking about is, could I work this in somewhere else? Because this is a cool little, you know, kind of piece of ephemera that I could use. I don't think it's going to work here because I don't have room for it. But I'm wondering if I could maybe just work it in like on a miscellaneous pocket page where I'm just dropping in extra stuff that I have. I'm not sure. So I may hold that one out for now, but all of these will go in the page protector, and I'm just going to kind of tuck them probably, you know, like that. So I have this ready to be adhered. What I chose to do is to use glue dots. I put one up here right on the back of the top there so I can kind of press it down, and then I put one each on the sides. And what I did was, when I put it on, I did kind of half and half, half overlapping on the outside, half on the inside, and then just folded it over a tiny bit so that it really gets the edges here. Now, will this work? I don't know. I'm going to try it. If it does and then falls off later, I'll have to come up with another plan. I did think about using this, but the sides of this are so thin, it made me nervous that it wouldn't really hold it solidly enough. So I'm going to try this because this is so sticky, and we'll just see how it goes. So I think I want to get it basically centered, so probably right about here. All right, let's try it. Okay, I can see already that there's a little bit kind of peeking out of the sides here. So I'm just going to use my fingernail and kind of stick it back in there. There we go. It seems to be holding it pretty well, pretty stuck on there. Now this is going to create a little bit of bulk in the pocket because this doesn't lay totally flat, but I don't mind that. I don't put super thick items in my pocket pages, but I don't mind, you know, a little bit like this. This isn't bad. Once in a while, I'll also do like a pop dot behind something just to raise it up a little, but that's about as thick as I'll go because I actually need to be able to close the album at some point. So I like the way this looks. I don't mind a little bit of a raised element there. So I think that one is good. Got a little bit of piece of hair on it, I think, probably from my cat, who I actually locked in the laundry room while I finished this. So, I'm not sure if I want to put anything on this just because the picture itself is so gorgeous. So I may do something up here. I don't want to detract from this, so I could leave it alone. I think I need to go off camera and assess what else needs to be done here. I think I have figured out what I want to do with this one. I am going to put something on here, but it'll be somewhat minimal. I'm going to put it right at the bottom. I have this phrase sticker, and this is from, let me grab the booklet here. It's a booklet of phrases. This one is from Tim Holtz, Ideology, Small Talk, it's called. So I'm going to use this one, and it says, keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. And that speaks well to this, because just knowing the history of it and being so excited to go and pumped, you know, to see it, when I actually got there, it was quite overwhelming to stand in front of it. First of all, it's huge. It gets its own wall and its own guard because it's on view at all times. That was part of the deal when it came back to its rightful owner in the United States. It had to be on view at all times or she wasn't going to give it to the gallery. So got to see it, and it was unimaginable, like to the point that I was so overwhelmed. There's this leather couch in front of it. I sat there and I just cried, as in like tears coming down my face, crying. I had to take out Kleenex, had to blow my nose, all of that. The guard just stood there, stone-faced, as if, you know, it was no big deal. I'm guessing that's not the first time that that's happened to somebody, just given that there was no real reaction to it. So I think I'm going to honor that by putting this on here, but it's too big, so I am going to have to cut it. So I'm going to cut it in parts, probably just in two, and then layer it at the bottom here. Here's how it looks once it's done. So I am pleased with that. This is quite thick, and I like the way it looks just as is, and it's pretty close up to the side here, so I'm not going to put a staple in there. I'm just going to leave it like this and then put it in the pocket. I decided to also use the gold Heidi Shine on the front of this. I thought it would match well because I had put some over here plus all the gold in this pocket. I figured it would work. The front of it isn't completely dry yet. The back is, but I have to wait a little bit on the front. But this is what the layout will look like when it's done. And then I did decide to just drop these in like so in the back, and then anybody can take them out and look at them. So when these are side by side, this layout is actually finished. Tuck those in a little bit. I don't care if they peek out a little bit at the top. That's totally fine. That bothers some people. It doesn't bother me. So this is done. I will do my journaling off camera, and when this New York album is done, I do plan to do a flip through. So you'll be able to see what everything actually looks like when it's in the pockets, when all the journaling is done, and it may even have to be in two parts. I think I have planned 48 page protectors for this album, and right now I'm a little bit more than a third of the way through, so there's still a ways to go, but that's a lot of page protectors. So I may have to break that into two when I do the flip through, but we'll see. But look forward to that when it's all done. But for now, this is complete. Thanks for watching.